Inclusive education is not a separate initiative, a project, something to add on. It is basic and fundamental to good schooling.
Today we're going to have lots of movement. So to put everything underneath the desk, we don't want anybody tripping over their binders or your lip balm, so stick those in your pocket. Let's get ready for some fun and action and adventure. You ready? You good? All right, superstar, let's go.
Inclusive schools that are successful have a common vocabulary, not only within the school, but across all of the schools within a district, so that we know what we mean by inclusive education. We know what we mean by different models of support that are available for youngsters. We know what accommodations are and structural modifications, and we know how to scaffold instruction so it's really successful and challenging for every student.
Try.
Trio. Oh, tree.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, I'm like,
1,000 beautiful neck.
Semi? Yes.
As I look at inclusive schools, some of those common vocabulary words need to be what is inclusion, inclusive education. It also needs to define collaboration between all parties in the school. We also have to have a good understanding of the set of decisions that we make. What questions do we ask in order to reach the right decision for individual students? And all of us need to approach it exactly the same way. Inclusive education is made up of some key guiding principles that we all should follow in order to really ensure success. Inclusive education is for every student. It's really all students and the climate within our school. If support services are needed for a student, the child doesn't have to go to those services. The services can come to the student. And when they do, it enriches opportunities for more than just that single student. So if we really want to make progress and we really want to be successful, we need some clarity about what is good practice and what isn't. Maybe the most important of these guiding principles is that every decision we make has to be individualized. The minute we look at their label or a place or a program, we stop individualizing, and I guarantee the success for that student becomes limited. What we're sure of is that we start with the general education classroom as our reference point and only move beyond it the extent that it's absolutely necessary to meet the needs of that student.
I thought you were going to add the 4 and the 5.
We will. Well, after we square them, we're going to add them, right? So now we get 41.
One of the things that we have to recognize is that change has got to be systemic change. This doesn't work if we just work in one classroom or one school. There has to be a real commitment to building a common vision and a common vocabulary across an entire school district.
One of our mottos here is success for all. It's even a hashtag now. And the idea is that in order for us to really make an impact in the classroom, this ideology has to be school-wide, making sure that every child's needs are addressed no matter what their capacity, no matter what that they need.
for eubacteria, there's no third example. There's only E. coli strep.
Okay, so what can you think of a bacteria that can make you sick if you eat undercooked chicken or raw eggs?
In the past, such students have been relegated to specific classrooms or in one corner of the school. However, our goal always is to provide them the least restrictive environment. So that means let's get them in the classrooms.
2x times -1 would get -2x.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So look at that, because I think you end up canceling this part.
It positively impacts school culture because when your general ed population starts to see that there's other students that do have specific needs, but yet they're right here in their classroom and they're treated as equals, I think that's important when you're building not just the culture of the school, but the capacity within our students.
Yeah, so that's how I did already.
Right, and your answer should be -4x plus 0.
And the way our teachers coordinate as co-teachers and in inclusion is that they do their best to not just teach to specific subset of students within the classroom. They're spread out and they're teaching all students. So there's not this singling out of any sort. So naturally, it's created a culture of inclusivity by letting our students across the board realize, hey, I'm just like anybody else.
You can do it. What are the factors that multiply to make -5, but add together to make -4?
In inclusive schools, all adults share responsibility for all students. We don't say your students, my students, or those students. When we all assume responsibility, a shared responsibility, great things happen.